I just kicked a lone deer off of this little island out in the middle of these cattails. Looks like kind of a flooded forest out here. I spotted this tree. It's the only tree out in the middle of this area that actually has buds on it. And as soon as I started walking towards it, I literally saw a deer stand up and take off. I can hear a bunch of deer sloshing around behind me. So this is a pretty secure spot. I'm gonna go check out the bed that's on here. There's the bed. I decided I'm not gonna even try to get any closer. I keep sinking. And this whole place is just littered with deer hair. Couldn't resist, had to climb out here. It is pretty much what I thought it would be, just a big hump, and it's just littered with deer hair. I don't know, it might be a muskrat den too, but it's like waist deep water all around it. Actually kind of hard to show when I'm standing on it. Just kicked up a deer. Where's the bed? I came in here looking for higher ground. Everything is submerged right now, and I finally found this piece of a little bit higher ground, and I kicked up a few deer back in here a second ago, and all of a sudden I came across a trail and it was muddy, and I just assumed that it was muddy because a deer just ran down the trail. So I followed that trail to the higher ground, and I came up on this area that's just littered with deer hair. It's all over in the water and stuff. There's some deer hair. And then I looked up and saw some of these rubs, and I looked back and I found this little kind of hole tucked in back in here, and walked up, and there's a bed that's all full of hair. And there's actually a jawbone from a deer that died in this bed, I'm assuming. So I think this is a pretty good bed. This is the only high ground for quite a ways around, and it's totally surrounded by water. So I'm gonna pick a tree to hunt from. Just step back a ways. Something like kind of caught my eye is that bed with that jawbone in it. It's right under the only oak tree within sight. And it's basically like a big signal beacon that there's a big chunk of high ground right there. I'm right by the jawbone bed. And here's another even higher piece of ground that's just totally full of hair. And there's a pretty good north and south deer trail that's going right here. There's kind of clusters of rubs around here. Nice wet area. Still not sure what direction they're heading from when they're leaving here. But I'm gonna assume there's kind of a big acorn grove over a couple hundred yards away from me. And I found a big community scrape up there earlier this morning, and I'm just going to use that as kind of an assumed direction of travel for now. Found a couple doe beds on the edge of this island. One thing that I've definitely noticed about this island is there's this heavy trail that goes around the whole perimeter of it. It's pretty well used. There's some thicker brush ahead. I'm gonna see what's in there. Alright, I think I found what I was looking for on this big island here. I was having a heck of a time trying to find what I thought was like the primary type of bed for this island, and I just found it. It's actually pretty perfect now that I've seen it. I was finding all these scrapes and rubs on this edge here, and I couldn't find any beds, but now I found two beds actually, one right here and then another one up underneath that tree. And so this is on the east end of the island, which we have a predominant west wind, so he'll be able to smell just about everything that walks on the island, and he can also see pretty much both of the routes that I was considering using to access this island. This one to the northeast is a little shallower. I can walk through the water a little easier, but he's a little closer to it, and he can see through all these dead trees pretty well. And then he can also see the spot where I first accessed the island. It's a little deeper, but he would have been able to see me the whole way coming on here. And then there's a bunch of scrapes, and there's pretty good sized rubs. A couple rubs here. And there's a bunch of scrapes. So I'm pretty convinced that this is what I was looking for. So I gotta find a way to access this spot without getting busted, which is gonna be tough. Pretty perfect spot for him to bed. So there you go. So I think I got this place kind of figured out. Probably not, but I feel like I do. Turns out I actually walked within like, oh, there goes a turkey. Bunch of, holy crap. Wow. Whole flock of them within 50 yards of me, and I didn't even know it. walked within 20 feet of that, what I think is like the primary bed for this little area this morning, and I think I figured out where I'm gonna hunt. I found a scrape right here. It's really well used. There's branches that are thrashed up above it, and that bed is about a little under 100 yards over that way, and I'm facing west right now, and that's the way that he's kind of, it looks like he's facing. So it looks like I need to enter way back over here and make a big wide loop around the bed so I don't get seen. And then I think I'm going to hunt out of this tree right here. And from that tree, I've got a couple different shooting lanes down to this scrape and a couple different spots out through here. And then I've also got like a big cover of tangled brush that I should be able to set up behind without being seen from that bed, which is only about 100 yards away. So that's the plan. I'm gonna do it next fall, baby. Well, it looks like I'm gonna need to come in with a canoe to hunt this, because I'm about as close to the water as I can get right now. And I put an orange vest on the bed, and it looks like I'm in plain view. So this access route is not going to work. I think a canoe would probably be the easiest way to come in here. So that's why you carry the orange vest. Well, that concludes my scouting in this spot. I'm gonna go up to the road, and I'm gonna try to find that rub line and see if it goes all the way to the road. And that's gonna be where I'm gonna set up a mock scrape, a licking branch, so that I can monitor the area from the road, basically with a trail camera, somewhere secluded, somewhere that I can get out of the truck and check it, and just kind of keep an eye on what's running around back here. I had a trail cam photo of a big buck back here last year, so hopefully I can get him again on camera. So I'm back up by the road, and I basically just kind of followed the deer trails out away from that bedding area, and made my way back to the road. And I think that's probably one of the routes that a deer would take away from that island out to the mainland, up by the crop fields and everything. I just found like 3 or 4 rubs all in a row here, and there's a little bit of dry land up there. I could hang a camera somewhere up in here and start a licking branch and be able to monitor the area pretty well. So pretty happy about that.